In this example, we're going to cover adding and subtracting. So the first one is 4.3 times 10 to the 7th power being added to 9.3 times 10 to the 6th power. So when it comes to adding and subtracting, we always want to make sure we have the tens with the same exponent. So let's take a look. So it has to be the same exponent. So if it's not, so in the case it is not, sometimes I would recommend that you work with the higher exponent. So that means we're going to make 6 to become 7. So in order to increase the exponent by 1, so if I'm going to go to this rule, so if I want to increase the exponent up, that means I got to move my decimal to the left. So here, so I'm going to change from 9.3, so I'm moving my decimal one place to the left so that I can increase the exponent from 6 to 1. So this will be 0.93 times 10 to the 7th power. So then this stays the same, 4.3 times 10 to the 7th being added to 0.93 times 10 to the 7th. Again, you only do this when you're adding or subtracting. The exponent of tens have to be the same. Now from there, I don't have to mess with the tens to the 7th power. All we have to do is focus on 4.3 and 0.93. So it's going to be 4.3 plus 0.93. So we're going to have to line up our decimal. So 4.3 plus 0.93. So here I can just add a 0 to line up my numbers. 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 plus 9 is 2 and carry the 1. So I should have said 3 plus 9 is 12, so I'm going to write the 2 and then carry the 1. Put my decimal. 1 plus 4 is 5. Alright. So again, make sure you line up your decimal when you're adding and subtracting. So my answer is 5.23 times 10 to the 7th power. But make sure to have the least amount of decimal places. So in the original problem was 1. And the other one was also 1 decimal place. So I need to get to 1 decimal place. So it's 0.23. I'm going to look at the 3. It's below 5. So I'm going to round down to 5.2 times 10 to the 7th power. And that will be my final answer. So again, don't forget to round your answer to the least decimal places based on your original problem. In this example, we have 7.1 times 10 to the 4th being subtracted by 8.2 times 10 to the 3rd. So again, when we're adding and subtracting, we check the exponents on the tens, and it has to be the same. In this case, it is not. So what we're going to do is we're going to convert the 10 to the 3rd power into 10 to the 4th power. So I'm going to increase 3 to 4 by 1. So if I'm increasing the exponent by 1, that means I need to move the decimal to the left by 1 space. So it's going to be 0.82 times 10 to the 4th. So therefore, this one will stay the same. Now the exponent on the 10 is the same. I can continue by subtracting these two numbers. So we're just going to focus on 7.1 and 0.82. So again, adding and subtracting, we have to line up our decimal. So that means it's going to be 7.1 here minus 0.82. Now when we're subtracting, we should have all your numbers, so I need to include a 0 here. So here when we're subtracting 0 minus 2, so that means I need to convert this to a 10, take 1 away from this number, so this becomes 0. So 10 minus 2 is 8, and then here is the same thing as this one, so I need to convert this to a 10. That means I need to take 1 away from 7 and change that to 6. 10 minus 8 is 2, and then this will be 6. Now if you want to double check, you can add 0.82 with 6.28 and you should get 7.10 or 7.1. And again, we're not messing with 10 to the 4th because that's you only mess with the exponent when you're multiplying or dividing. And subtracting, we keep it the same. So my answer is 6.28 times 10 to the 4th power. Now, again, I gotta check my original problem is the least amount of decimal place, which is 1. So I need to have 1 decimal place in my final answer. So looking at 0.28, the 8 is next to the 2, so since the 8 is more than 5, I'm going to round up. So it's going to be 6.3 times 10 to the 4th. And then my final answer, I'm going to box it up, so 6.3 times 10 to the 4th. Now the one thing you gotta watch out for is when you're subtracting, after you line up with your decimal, if you don't have all your numbers lined up, meaning for example I had 7.1 with the 0.82, I added a 0, and when I'm subtracting 0 minus 2, I change that 0 to a 10, and I take 1 away from the place in front of it, so I change the 1 into a 0. After that, I'm doing the same thing again because now it's 0 minus 8. So I change the 0 into a 10 again and then take 1 away from the number that's in front. So I change 7 into 6. And then there I'm able to subtract. And again, all of this is just middle school stuff.